Are you ready? I was born ready.
Obviously, you're a little, aggravated by the line of questioning regarding Canelo.
I don't want to touch this, dirty, so bad, I don't want to touch his name.
I'm working on feeling the art of humbleness. Can you be with me? That's the reason why I'm crying, because I'm not that person no more. And I miss him. But sometimes I feel like a bitch. I don't want that person to come out, because when he comes out, hell is coming with him. And it's not funny at all. It must sound cool, like I'm a tough guy. It's just, I hate that I'm scared of it.
It would be awesome to, be being a great war, maybe with a Mexican.
Let's go! Way pop!
I have to put the joke.
No, hey. Thank you for playing, man. I appreciate it. Good timing, man.
Can't put predictions, man, but I definitely don't want to leave it to the judges.
¡Yo! ¡Huepa! Y como lo decimos ahora, seguimos diciendo ¡Viva México! The weekend of the holiday. We are Long Live Boxing EnVivo podcast, breaking it down after a major fight. Major holiday is always money, not the hater. Marrero!
Thunder Gringo Heczar!
Woo! Hopper!
He's so hungover that he cannot even yeehaw today.
Woo, man, my voice is a little raspy, kind of low right now.
Dude, congratulations to Mexico, all the fans. Amazing fight, milestone, adding to the legacy. Something else never been done, and Chingon accomplished that. So I want to, first of all, congratulations. Those fans stuck with them. Good times and bad times, and I think the best is yet to come. But it ain't my show. I'm here just to listen. Hopper. You seem to be pretty exhausted. Exhausted, but
Viva! Oh man, what a night, man. Viva! Yeah, no, but great night of action. We all missed on our predictions. We had him winning, but
big time.
Just a few rounds later, gives credit to Caleb. I didn't feel like he was winning the fight. I gave him maybe three rounds, maybe 4, generous. But he was in there hanging with Canelo. He wasn't in survival mode like a lot of the guys that go in there before, like Canelo says, or Caleb says, they're defeated before they even go into the ring. So props to Caleb. He performed admirably. Canelo, it took a while for Canelo to figure him out, but he did. Eventually he caught him. Well, man, what can we say, man? Just another night. Hopefully Canelo, hopefully it does well, in terms of all the pay-per-views and everything. Hopefully it does better than that UFC fight that was going on. I didn't even watch, but I know who won. But yeah, no, shout out to Canelo, undisputed, first Mexican undisputed champion ever, first Latino undisputed champion ever. He's the 6th boxer in the history of boxing to become undisputed. He joins Bernard Hopkins, Jermaine Taylor, Manny's boy Usyk, Terrence Crawford, Josh Taylor, and now Canelo. So that's a hell of a list to be with. And yeah, man. Gringo, what do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely a great moment. A huge plateau for his career as far as a benchmark. Undisputed is a big thing. Do the fans really care about it? I know this fan does. Like I said, undisputed to me is a way to kind of measure success in boxing. How can you tell you had a good year? We had good fights. Some fights maybe didn't live up to the hype. But if you have a division that goes through one individual, that's got to be a positive thing. And that's how I view it. And, irregardless of who was faced or how the division is perceived, he beat some undefeated champions. He did it in dramatic fashion. And, you got to give hats off. So props to Canelo. Like he said to Boo Andrade, it's my night, it was definitely his night. And it was a great night for fight fans as well, because I'll go ahead and say, the undercard was pretty entertaining. I was really good. The hell out of it.
I was surprised that the Canelo fight came out real quickly, because everything was a knockout from Elvis.
Really?
With the exception of what Lopez at
man. Man, I missed the undercard, fellas. We were at a quinceañera. My daughter was standing up in the quinceañera, so I told him to let me know when Anthony Durrell walks to the ring. and that was my cue to leave. So we got there. When we got there, to my friend Joanna, thank you for family friend. We love her. Thank you for inviting us. We got there right as Caleb Plant was walking to the ring. So I mean, it was perfect timing. So what's good?
El Dub
over here talking Canelo, chopping it up while talking about his victory last night. A great left hook that pretty much started it all, and the uppercuts finished him. Caleb went down, got up, still feeling the effects from the punches, and then Canelo just finished him off. Man, it was hey, I enjoyed it. Props to Caleb too, man, for going in there and going out on the street like a warrior.
Yeah, one thing I do want to say though is, I mean, going into it, we were kind of going back and forth amongst each other, like who was a tougher opponent. You had Caleb Smith, and you had Billy Joe Saunders, and now you had Caleb Plant. So was it a fact of talent, ability, matchup wise, or somebody had a better game plan? Because I mean, as far as effectiveness, and maybe who created more challenges for Canelo, and I think had a better showing. I would say Caleb Plant, just on the optics. Maybe I got to go back and look at the fight again because I do want to rescore it. I had Plant getting the first, fourth, and ninth round. I gave him 3 out of the 10, until he got stopped. And but he had good moments. I don't think he had enough power. And another concern I had too is
through good combination.
I gotta give a lot of props to Caleb Plant. I mean, I know I give him shit, and I was always talking about the fact that Billy Joe Saunders, it's been a much better, tougher opponent for Caleb Plant, and we knew his game plan. We knew Caleb Plant was going to come in strong in the first round, throwing the jab, staying into the distance. Canelo is the type of guy that Canelo is the type of guy that takes a lot of punches at the beginning of the fights. He starts slow to really identify and kind of test his power. He took a couple of jabs and punches, but it was nothing that would have really pushed back Canelo. And then you start seeing him warming up. You start seeing him trying to get into the body. And one of the things that I'm impressed about Canelo is the consistency of his combination and his punches. He never gave up on that left hook. And I was like, he's throwing that left hook a lot into the body, up into the side of the head, and at times he was not landing it like the way he finished the fight. And I think that's the difference maker when it comes to Eddie Reynoso in his corner. Stick to what we practice throughout the game plan. Stay focused, keep on that body. I mean, Caleb Plant took so many hits with that right hand. It was just awkward. The way he was just leaning, it was a very easy target to get to that Caleb Plant right hand down the body, and he was doing that
what's up, brother?
all night. He was doing that all night, and props out because although we knew he was going to break him down eventually, he still didn't give up.
Yeah.
And now one thing I gotta say, although there's a consolidation in the 168, there's a undisputed champion, and people think that's the end of the division. I don't think so. I think there's a guy that his stock actually, in my eyes, went up, and that is Caleb Smith. The reason why, out of all the champions of 168, he was the only one that went into the distance. So can you imagine having Caleb Smith against any of the other guys?
Well, he's at 175 now. Man, Caleb Smith's at 175
that's right.
now. He moved up already, and he looked even deadlier then. He scored a hell of a knockout. I see your point, though. I see your point. I think him against Billy Joe or him against Caleb, I think I would give the edge to Caleb.
That would have been a great fight.
It'd be great fights. And actually, and the thing that surprised me about Canelo was he didn't start slow. I mean, the first round,
second round,
Caleb, and the second round, he started picking it up right away. I guess he must have listened to my podcast, our podcast, when I said that.
Well, of course,
starter, and we can see him losing the first 6 rounds, 4-2, and he said, "Nuh-uh, Hopper, not this night." And he came out the second round pretty aggressive, starting to land some heavy shots. So that kind of surprised me a little bit with Canelo. He knew he didn't want to fall into a hole. Not with Caleb, because he that's credit to Caleb's superior boxing skills. That's good work by Reynoso in the corner to tell him, hey, you can't afford to start slow, cabron. Not against this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. So just like any other time where boxing fans, it's the beast that's never satisfied. After the fight, fight fans are already talking about who do they want next. Who should come up next. So I proposed it to our brother Hopper. Who do you want next? So now he's undisputed 168.
Well, I mean, I want, everybody wants him to fight. David Benavidez is there. Jamar Charlo can move up. Honestly, though, I want to see Canelo, and this is just me being selfish. I want to see him fight in the UK. I want to see him fight possibly either, because I think John Ryder's is mandatory now for one of the belts. You could probably do that over there. They can make that very easily. I think Canelo would sell in the UK. That'd be great to show some love to our brothers overseas, or even Chris Eubank Jr. That'd be pretty good too. So, but I think realistically, I think that's what fight's going to happen next is John Ryder in the UK. Canelo always talking about how he wants to fight over there. He's a great relationship with Eddie Hearn. I think that's probably what's next. And I personally, I would love to see that as well. I want to see him in the UK, and depending on where it is, I might make the trip, depending on when it is, probably save some bucks and me and the wifey. Vámonos, support El Canelo.
All right, so gotta be honest, that kind of surprised me as far as your response. But why is that? Why is that important for you for that to be the next fight? Because of the realistic aspect, or you think it'd be
realistically? I think that's what's gonna happen, and then also I think. Canelo deserves this. Just go out there and fight a John Ryder. Why not? I mean, boxers pretty much do it all the time. Where they're especially the PBC guys are fighting no names all the time. And Canelo just fought a bunch of champions. Go fight your mandatory. Go take care of that. Go in the UK. Show some love over there to the Brits. He'll sell out. I'm no doubt in my mind he'll sell out. So I want to see that. I want to see him fight in the UK. I think that'll be pretty cool. I think a lot of the great boxers in the past have fought everywhere, So I think he needs to do that as well. Try to fight everywhere. I want to see him fight in Mexico as well. That'd be great. In El Azteca Stadium, that'd be fantastic. See him fight in the UK. Just build that brand up, Canelo. He's a great fighter, man.
Absolutely. No, well said, brother. And you have some great insight on that for sure. So, Manny, going into it, you had some questions about 168 as a whole, but undisputed, it did go to the crown of the king. That is Canelo. What's your thoughts now as the dust is starting to settle? What do you want next for Canelo, for him to fully cement a legacy as being one of the all-time greats for you?
He's the king, bro, and you have to give it up to him. I think he's worked hard, and one of the things that Canelo has everything. He portrays great family values. He's great inside the ring, great outside the ring.
Dedicated.
The most important is his game plan. He has sole control of his future. Whatever he wants to do it. And I know I give him a lot of shit at 168 just to bust my brother's pump balls every now and then. The reality is because as fans, we want to be able to see fights, bigger fights. And I know for a fact, a lot of people have been talking about whether it's Bandera Roja, whether it's even Charlo, because right now there is the big, huge dilemma whether the PBC Charlos, they're in the pedestal in the boxing, but, they're taking away the fact of all Canelo has done. And I know a lot of people have been interested to eventually see that. But you know what? You got to respect the way Canelo handles things. And I'll do whatever I want, whenever I want. And when I call you, be ready. And the funny thing yesterday, as I was watching the fight, I'm like, I can't believe a lot of these boxers and some no-name guys or name guys are wanting a piece of Canelo. They cannot handle that. They cannot handle him. So back to your question, what I would like to see, I totally agree with Hopper. I think Ryder will be the mandatory right now. Not saying about taking it easy or anything like that. Give the fans around the world, capture the entire world, because there is fans everywhere, and I believe he can sell it. Going in the UK, Eddie Hearn building a very good, card that will sell out completely. Canelo fans will be plugged in all over the world, and then later on, hey, bring some of those fights that I know for a fact Canelo already has them written down. And I believe we should be able to see eventually after that. We could possibly see if he stays in weight and, stays out of trouble. I'd probably see a Benavidez. That will be a very good 168 matchup. Or if you want a mega super fight between, I don't want to say two of the top guys, but at least the number one king pound for pound, and someone that has been elevated because of the whole people backing him up in the PBC and Charlo, that will be a huge mega fight, which I don't see any chances of these guys moving up and even making a dent into
no
what
chance.
Canelo can offer. He gets better round by round by round. He takes a lot of good punches, but he also understands his limits. And I love the fact that he challenges people. And you know what? Caleb Plant gave him a really, really right hand, and he actually reset himself. Like, you got me a little bit on the chin, reset myself, and he came back up to it. I love it. I mean, he has control not only of inside the ring, outside the ring, but also with his career, and we got to respect that. And he had earned my respect to whatever he wanted to do, whether people like it or not. I respect the fact that he did it one champion at a time, one division.
Yeah,
amazing.
I don't think Jermall Charlo has anything for Canelo. But I give more credit to Jermell. Now, if it was Jermell, I think that'd be much more interesting. It's just a shame that he's a few divisions lower. But I'll hold Jermell in a higher regard than Jermall. I think he's a more talented twin. David Benavidez, I would love for him to build his stock up a little more realistically, because only all the hardcore boxing fans know who David Benavidez is. Boxing fans know, but the casuals still are like, oh, he's fighting who?
And he's still young.
If he was to fight a big fight, build his stock up, fight Caleb, fight Jermall, fight one of some of these guys. That'll get Canelo's attention. Be like, oh, hey, okay, now because Canelo, he wants the best.
Yes,
and
even fight. Himself. Yeah, I love it. That would be an amazing fight, Caleb Smith. Caleb Plant against Benavidez to kind of see where he's at.
Great. Yeah.
If he able to do a statement the way Canelo did it even sooner, that tells you that would be a really legit fight to fight. And let me tell you something. Under 25 years old, Benavidez, still young. He doesn't look young. He looks very old. He looks very old. More up in age the way he looks. But I think there's a talent. There's a sense of commitment to make sure that he focuses and gets those really challenging fights.
Doesn't want that Canelo train going away. What about you, Gringo? What do you think? Who should Canelo fight next?
All right, what I want, other than breakfast, but what I want,
other than a torta or something.
Una torta de jamón.
Man, taquitos. When you talk about you have Menudo, man, I'm kind of jealous. I had
it was great.
No, but man, I bet the fight I want. And I made no bones about it. I want David Benavidez, but the fight I think is going to happen.
Triple G?
I think it's going to be Big Charlo. No. I think that ship has sailed and sunk. That's never going to happen, man. I don't think that fight's ever going to happen. No, that's not the fight I want. I'm saying I want David Benavidez. I think we're going to get Big Charlo. I think that's what kind of they're lining up. It's just I think that's kind of how I really do. I think that's what's next. I see your point and what you guys brought up as far as that mandatory, and that makes sense. But there's also too, like, are you guys worried as far as like anybody else? I mean, Canelo's chasing legacy now that he's got his undisputed. Will he be as active? I mean, that could also impact too. He's talking about being as active. He's going to start eliminating potential candidates.
But even if he's not, even if he's fighting the Mexican dates, May and September, we still get to see him twice a year. It's still more than the norm than like a lot of other elite boxers. Like, when's the last time Terrence Crawford fought? Good question. When was the last time he fought?
He fought Kell Brooks, didn't he?
Yeah, he fought Kell Brooks Ghost
last year.
We got a comment from damn that. Was that was the bubble, wasn't it? So that had to be like
that was last year.
Funky wants bandera roja.
He wants the bandera next. Nice, yeah, man. That'd be
all right. Here's
cool. That's a good one too. I mean, if it's
big fighting Kyron Davis next, right?
Like tune-ups,
it was.
Bandera will be
all right,
great.
So
and I don't think he needs to.
Let me help you guys out. So I'm with my brother G Funky, man. Shout out to HCP. They got a great network of shows, and we love them all. All right, they do a lot of great stuff, and I know G Funky on Monday, HCP is War. Thursday they have their roundtable, and on Tuesdays Chile, and on Wednesday Women's Crushing on Wednesday. Shout out to Coach Christine Lopez. So the reason why I'm saying this is I'm coming from the PBC brother Hayden perspective.
Oh, that's right. You know about Heyman.
Pictures on my wall. All right.
You love them. You love them.
Oh yeah. So here's the thing. As soon as people are already questioning, okay, like he's undisputed, right? Just like the same way they're undisputing, the undisputed Teofimo thing is in question. Is he really undisputed if he didn't challenge this particular person? And, I know it's apples and oranges, but in this case, granted, it is David Benavidez's fault. He lost the belt on the scale. That's his fault completely. But
And,
well, the booger sugar, right? But was Canelo interested in being undisputed before David Benavidez lost the belt? I've heard that. You know.
yeah, that's fair. I mean,
Is Gringo hating now?
I don't think he was.
No,
I
I'm
don't
just,
think
I'm
he
just
was.
posing a question.
I don't think he was in the division yet. At
Right.
160.
Right.
I don't think he was fully in the 168 division yet. And so I mean that's a fair point.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, here's the thing. I think.
So you're saying he dug David, Gringo? Is that what I'm hearing? You're saying
no.
He dug Benavidez. You're a hater now, Gringo.
I'm telling you. Bring up
No. I'm just proposing the thought. Okay, so I want him to fight David Benavidez because, one, it helps boxing. I think it'd be an excellent, exciting fight. You're fighting somebody that's a natural, at 168. Actually, he should be 175 anyway.
Yeah, he's a big boy. I don't think
Benavidez
probably cut the weight.
He's get bigger, and it helps boxing because we see. Look at Canelo after the loss of Floyd. I think it could be that kind of fight where fighting Charlo, you already got your built-in excuse. Like, you and I are on the same page, my brother Harper. Like, I think the better Charlo, even though people feel different for whatever reason, is Little Charlo, right?
Little Charlo's the better.
But I think that's way too low. I mean,
the better twin.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I don't see that little one happening.
If he were to move up,
anytime soon,
you would never hear the end of it. Even though it's going up one division, that's one thing for Jamal, but to go up 2 divisions. So I'm just saying, like, I don't want to deal with any of that. So I'm saying to cement legacy, David Benavidez is the fight. It has to happen.
Do you think Al Heyman risks that? Another one in Spider.
Move. I think it wouldn't be a risk because just like, okay, let's talk about it right now. As of right now, do you respect Caleb Plant more? Would you look forward to this fight more after this fight than before the fight? Right? His stock went up. I think that David Benavidez stock would go up even with a loss. Because I think he'd have even more success than Caleb Plant against
you think
Canelo
so?
Alvarez. Yeah,
I know he would.
I think David's a lot easier to hit. David's a lot easier to hit than Caleb is.
But he has more power and he's a lot bigger.
A little more pop, but
and he has a bigger work rate. So I think that I don't want to get sidetracked. I'm just saying that's my thought as far as how that goes, and I hope it happens. So,
but
all right, so
we'll see what happens.
Thinking about things that come out of nowhere. All right, you guys were, big pimping it over there at the Boxing Showcase. We'll talk about them. Shout out to them. They put on a great show. But
Southern Junction and Irving.
Some news came out about Vergil Ortiz changes to his corner, man. What's the thoughts on that, man?
Yo, that came out of nowhere. Like, you weren't even hearing rumors or whispers about it or anything like that. And then that Mike Coppinger came out with it, and Vergil and his parents and his dad were trying to shoot it down and saying, deny it. But Robert Garcia came out with a video and kind of explained, what happened. I think Vergil was upset that he didn't go with him to the fight against Mean Machine. And Robert went to go with Josh Franco in, I believe it was Oklahoma. I can't remember where the location was.
Yeah, defending.
And Robert explained it. He said, and it makes sense to, to us, to the fans. He said he wanted to go with Josh because he was fighting a top-ranked fighter in a top-ranked promotion card. He knows they were already going to be up against it, so he wanted to support Josh. And I don't know, man. I think it was a blunder on his part not being there for Vergil. I think, you got to cater to your stars. Obviously, every coach says that they treat everybody the same, but they don't. Your star players get a little more flexibility, and I think that's a massive blunder on Coach Garcia just for that. And then not even to smooth things over, Vergil just said, "No, I'm out. I'm gonna go with Reynoso, Team Canelo." I think that's a great move because it's more exposure for Vergil Ortiz being on Team Canelo. Come on, so.
Chicano Prophet, what's up, brother?
So yeah, I mean, I like the move. It sucks they had a split, but Vergil now with Team Reynoso, damn, man, that stable just keeps getting deeper and deeper. How's he gonna have time to train everybody?
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, keep in mind though, he has an all-star, top-heavy stable, right? But at the same time, Robert Garcia's got like 30 fighters, man. You know what I mean? 30, and then he's got that academy. I mean, he's got a lot going on. As far as my thoughts, first of all, I'll say I appreciate and totally respect Robert Garcia for coming out and just laid it out there with that video, man. Like, Big props to him.
That was his son, right? He was with his son interviewing.
Yeah, his son, Peter. So like it could have
Yeah.
really got ugly as far as speculation and what people think. Just real quick before we hear from our brother Manny, I think that there may be a little bit more to it. I think even than that, from the standpoint of now, let me know what your thoughts are. I think that as far as potential of you get more shine the closer you are to the sun, right? Who's the sun right now? Canelo.
That's true.
So I think that that's also a part of it too. I think, yeah, there was a slight there, and I think there was some challenges that were faced within the fight. Velasquez is no fucking joke, man.
Hell
You know what I
no.
mean? At
That's
all.
the
And,
problem, Sean. That's the
Right.
problem.
Exactly. So, and then at the same time, there were some deficiencies that I've seen from Vergil Ortiz. We talked about that before. I love him. He's an amazing offensive fighter, but that's the thing, offensive fighter. To be a champion on the elite level, I mean, I made no bones about it. I mean, I would take Boots over him.
Wow, hater.
A little bit, but
Me
I'm
too,
saying,
right? Oh, me too.
but the thing is that he has time to change. He can improve that with maybe a shift in philosophy. And I think it's like a perfect storm. I'm thinking the timing of it. He's ready to go to that next level. And, you know, for him to be we keep saying here, like, you know, locally in Texas, he's the future of boxing. If you're truly the future of boxing, who better to be mentored by
Then the face
than
of
Canelo,
boxing.
right? So I think it kind of all goes full circle. It's no disrespect to Robert Garcia, but he made a tactical error. But I think also his tactical error as far as, you know, supporting, you know, El Profesor, you know, and going to that fight was also it kind of exaggerated some more concerns that Vergil, maybe his pops had, you know, like, man, we got to fix this. You know what I'm saying? And this might not be the place to get it fixed. At the same time, we want to be the star. We want to be the man one day. What better way to do it?
How's Golden Boy gonna react to that though? Golden Boy Promotions. How are they gonna take it? Oh, you're with Canelo now, so you might see Canelo at some of Virgil's fights. Oscar. Ooh. Bad blood.
Rumors. I mean, but we'll see how it happens, man. I mean, it's like anything else. I mean, you don't always like how news comes. You don't always like how things happen. We don't like the rain when it's raining, but we like the aftermath. We like the, you know, the green grass and the trees. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like that for me. Like, you hate the way it happened, but when you look at it as like big picture, and there's no disrespect again to Robert Garcia.
But I gotta tell you something.
Best move for Vergil, man.
I gotta tell you something, and I'm gonna be very honest. A lot of people see it coming. And I was like almost 70% that could happen. You know, there was a very sour taste, and we were there at the event here in Frisco in the start. You know, amazing card, Golden Boy. It was a very good experience. And when we learned about that, they didn't want to really put too much out there because the focus was just trying to, you know, get through this big, you know, huge fight for Vergil. You know, he made a lot of mistakes, and that's the thing. It's not about who is there, it's actually who was supposed to be there. And I get him and his father, they have a great bonding, but, you know, think about this, all right? And when you are a trainer and you hit the nail in the head, Sean, he's got too many people, 30 plus. And if you're trying to value right now or put things into perspective or into a balance where what weighs more, a champion or a future elite champion? Are you seeing that? Was he seeing that? And where I'm going to lean on, and I get it that the first decision someone's going to make about that, hey, listen, I have a world champion with all the facts that Hopper said and you said, Sean. I have a world champion that, yeah, it might have priority in my system, and that's his system. Robert Garcia's, you know, Boxing Academy. And if that doesn't fit to your to the way you think in doing business, because this is a business and it's actually Vergil Ortiz's business, he had to make a decision, and we knew for a fact that was going to happen. But who? Nevertheless, I think he did the right choice to beat the best. You gotta surround yourselves by the best. We've talked about the incredible stable surrounded by many champions that Eddie Reynoso has. Now he's got the undisputed, and on top of that, he's going to have the future welterweight champion in Vergil Ortiz. What a way to commit. Listen, it's not the same thing that you were a sea bass, right? In the pond, you want to be that big fish. You want to be that big cat. You want to be that big shark. in the sea. Treat me like that, because that is what Vergil Ortiz is. And if you think about it, they're major fights that we're going to be able to see. And Reynoso is going to be on the spotlight like yesterday. It was just so beautiful seeing that team that's been there together. They promote themselves that way. And Reynoso was carrying part of the belts, and he was accommodating, making sure the king looks good on camera, fixing everything up. And when I sat and watched and I was looking at it, it's like, man, this is enjoying at his best. And I think that's the environment Reynoso brings, not only inside the training camp, but outside. Families stick together. Trust, loyalty, rewards. Love it.
Absolutely. Yeah, shout out again to everyone tuned in. L Dub, Clarence McLean, G Funky in the house, HCP, Chicano Prophet, and of course the wonderful, beautiful Miss Denise Ward. She is amazing. Chicano Prophet bringing that fire. He's fired up. All right, so we got a nice comment here from our brother from another mother, L Dub. Every Thursday with El Cano Loco Sports. WBC may franchise Canelo again. Damn, I hate that. Damn, L-Dub. L-Dub be hitting you with the fact hammer. Benavidez versus Darrell 2. That's true. Darrell didn't look bad, man. In fact, he looked awesome, to be honest.
Yeah.
They might be setting him up for a Canelo fight as well. Remember, Darrell was rumored to be part of that deal early on.
Yeah,
I don't think this is the last we see of Darrell.
We weren't happy
No,
about
I
that.
don't.
In Canelo involved.
But I think right now, you guys made a point earlier that you're absolutely right. Whoever wants, and maybe it be on Canelo's watch list for future, you got to fight any of the champions he went through. I think that's fair. Even if, let's say, Charlo moves up, he's not going to move up directly and fight Canelo. He's probably going to fight one of these top of guys to build up the hype. If you can do better than what he did and continue to master your abilities and get stronger at that 168, it'll get his attention. I think right now it's all about money on Canelo and spreading the love. That's why I like the idea of Hopper going to the UK, because now you're spreading your love your way, which a lot of people don't like it. They're like, he wants to do it his way. It's his career. He's spreading the love right now, and I think everyone around the world should really enjoy this.
No, I mean, and again, L-Dub, we definitely appreciate the comment. I know that last night, though, Darrell was quoted saying, he was coming off his fourth round TKO uppercut. And that was vicious, by the way. He said, and this is him. He is 37. He wants to cash out. If he doesn't get the Canelo fight next, he's retiring. So, looks like he's retiring. You got a great career, sir. Good job. All right. So keeping it going, we're off to news and notes. So we got to show love to us, man. The boxing showcase, man.
Yes.
What an event, man. It put on a great. I know everything was about Vergil Ortiz, and ESPN and Kayla Mayer and her amazing female fight. That we'll talk about that, but wow, what a night. What a show.
Yeah, Manny.
Yeah, it really was. First of all, thank you, Jose. I had a conversation with you, Jose Boxing Showcase. He was thanking us for all the support. No, thank you for your support, for allowing us to be part of something special. And man, he whispered in my ears and said, which I'm not going to talk about it. We'll let the time tell the story. However, there's many things are going to come. And we already know for a fact that we're going to have Morales against Salido going in the Mesquite Center next. The 19th, Güero Vasquez comes back. I'm hoping he does. Heard a few things out there, struggling with the opponents. We'll see what happens in that. But, great job to those guys, prospects who are looking forward to, start bringing their career together and participate in the Big Belt Championship. There are a lot of great prospects out there, including Isasi. He's ready to take action on the 19 as well. There's quite a few other opponents out there that are pretty strong too. So, I like the fact that not only it was a pretty good, couple fights good for get excited for the, some finale for the tournament, but also 3 great fights. Some of the ones that you and I know, Ben Gurmad, man, Baron the Hill Gurmad. This kid continues to improve. He gets tested every fight, and he came with a huge win. Friday night against another undefeated opponent. And I mean, overall, then comes back Jose, whispers me again, man, these fights are pretty good. Absolutely. And we still got Lopez to come in on the co-main event. And then you still got someone who I honestly, I don't
No,
think we'll
absolutely,
ever
man. It
see
was
this
great.
kid as close and personal as we did at this time. And that is Kid Vasquez, the USA featherweight champion, WBC. Great performance in him as well. I mean, the crowd, the massacre, hometown massacre crowd was behind every single boxer. FSG, all these new prospects and guys are coming in. The house was packed. And Hop was there. You can give his perspective, but honestly, it was a good action for you to be the local. So I got to see Spider. That was pretty good. Spider.
Yeah, Spider was in the house. He's wearing
Glad
our
you were
shirt.
able to join in. But
Spider!
overall, Sean, I mean, yes, good night overall. That was just a high level recap. But a lot of great stuff happened, and there's a lot of stuff that will continue to happen.
All right, cool, man. Definitely. Anything you want to add, Hopper, on that? You enjoy it?
Oh, I enjoyed it. It was a great night of action. Like Manny said, all the kids showed out, all the young guys showed out. Even Manny's boy, Michael, he fought.
Michael, shout out to Michael.
Shout out to Michael. He lived out your dream, brother. That's all you can really ask for. So props and respect to anybody that steps in the ring. You gave it your best. Just the result didn't come out the way you wanted, but hey.
Yeah, and that's a huge accomplishment. If you guys were here in the pay-per-view,
even
the commentators were talking about his his testimony and how all of a sudden he's able to get back into the ring. Didn't turn out the way he probably wanted to, but shout out, because before the fight, you guys don't even know, so many things happened to the guy. And hey, listen, it's an experience. He lived it, a dream come true for him. And what a testimony to someone that wasn't supposed to even be walking. He got back in the ring.
Yep, props
All
to
right,
him.
so shout out to him, definitely. And a
La
big shout out
resiliencia.
to our brother. So we want to say thank you. And this is coming from Coach
Vasquez,
from Coach Mark. This is actually Weddle's dad. So I want to say thank you to Coach James and Marcus Brown. The great world-class experience today, levels in boxing. Today was one of Mark's able to experience firsthand. Thank you for sparring, seeing and learning new things every day. Y'all check Marcus Brown take on Arthur Benavidez for the WBC lightweight world title belt. So, man, again, our boy Weddle's doing big things. He's already sparred both Charlo brothers, and now he's fighting Derek James's other fighter. Marcus Brown.
And it's just, Sean, the reason why you're seeing that little stable grow with Ham and Isasi is because the fact that how humble this family maintains himself, even around the struggles. And a big shout out, Coach. Thank you for bailing us out in at the beginning and helping Michael in his corner and his nephew. Unfortunately, his trainer was not able to make it because of the change of the fight. A lot of people from Puerto Rico couldn't make it out here to support them in the corner, and Coach Vasquez just stepped in, and he did everything for them. So that's the kind of family and people you want to be around, because for a fact, because of those attributes, the success is around the corner for them, and you can start seeing you've seen them.
Absolutely. No, well said, brother. I appreciate that. So yeah, real quick. I mean, I'm not going to lie. We are who we are. We're fans of boxing, and we always want to give props to, good boxing. And I want to say this, that, I'm trying to learn and get a better understanding of female boxing, but this was just a good fight. So shout out to
Taylor Mayer.
Mayer.
She came unanimous decision, unifying the lightweight titles. So she took another step towards becoming undisputed junior lightweight champion Friday night in Las Vegas by beating
Easy on the eyes, too.
Amadouche. Unanimous decision to retain the WBO title, and picked up Amadouche's IBF title. So great job on that. And it was a brawl, man. It was a lot of back and forth action, and it was great. Again, I think I wasn't really sure, how's it going to do? It's women at the main event, but man, they delivered. It was an awesome fight. Respect to them, and respect to Michaela Mayer, man. She's definitely one, and we're excited for her. So great stuff there. So
I didn't get to see it all.
Not bad to look at either.
I did have to say, by the way, shout out Christine in the ring with Christine. The chicken. We did see her Friday night. But as we're sitting down and waiting for the Vasquez fight to come in, she pulled up her phone and she was watching the fight. I'm like, oh my God, there she is. And it was the little parts that I saw. I mean, Mayer was having it tough.
No, it was good stuff,
some
man.
Early parts of the round. So that was, I mean, I had
She
missed
took
it.
as
I'm gonna
much
go
as
back
she
and
gave
watch it
out.
now.
So she.
But man, wow, a few rounds that I was able to sneak in, it was very interesting.
All right. So speaking of very interesting, hey, we want to just kind of come in there and give our thoughts on an amazing night of boxing, a great night for not just Mexican boxing, not just for Canelo, but for boxing in general. I can't stress that enough. Unbelievable performance.
Luka did his
it
thing
was phenomenal. So real quick, I'm going to pass it to my brother Manny, and then for the last, I'm going to hit Hopper. He has something he wants to share with the world. He wants me to ask him something, and I'll make sure that everyone's online so they can hear it. Go ahead, Manny. What's your final thoughts before we end the show? Close things out.
Yeah! ¡Viva México! Como dice el chingón, cabrones! I mean, Mexico, it's partying like it's their birthday. This is another holiday. This is a super champion. This is the people's champion. People, everyone will be respecting that. Lots of love for Canelo, staying humble, going back into the El Rey, Julio Cesar Chavez, and going down there and, hitting fives, hitting, fist up and all that, keeping the Mexican boxing community not divided. It's just enjoying themselves, how they're going to different levels. Every boxer in every era had their moments. This is Canelo moment. And like my brother Hopper continues to preach about it, anytime Canelo fights, it's a holiday.
It's a holiday.
All right. So no, well said. So once again, we appreciate everybody, tuning in. You guys are awesome. And we want to end off with this. Hopper. All right. So you are sober enough to answer questions, correct, sir?
Am I?
All right. So anyway, we're about to find out. Is Canelo Mexico's greatest champion?
Well, I've been asked this many times, and I've always waited. I said, not yet. Hold on. If he becomes undisputed, I'll come back and answer that question. Well, he became undisputed last night, so I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Gringo, Manny, Canelo is the greatest Mexican boxer of all time. All time, baby. Yes, I've said it. I mean, a lot of my old heads, a lot of my OGs are gonna be mad at me. They will never give him Canelo this. He can go up in heavyweight and knock out, and they still won't give him. It's just this is the old Michael Jordan, LeBron James debate. It's just generations era. It is what it is, man. But I'm going ahead. And
I can see it.
Canelo,
There's a lot of people that
Canelo
want to give
is
props
the greatest
to
Mexican boxer of all time. Yes.
All right. Yeah. So our brother G Funky, our brother from another mother, shout out to him. HCP are doing great things. He has an emphatic no. So just and we expected that, and we love the banter and the conversation.
That's Hopper's perspective. At least it's not a half man, half disappointment.
Oh yeah, Coach Ray, come on, man. We know we got love for you, man. All right, Ray. For real. Reyes Boxing Club, Fort Worth, Texas.
Hell yeah.
River Oaks, Texas. Let's go.
It says Chavez. Yeah. Hey.
All right. So again, that's why we say it up for the end, guys. So if you want to send your hate mail,
don't at me, bro.
Don't at me. All right, so we'll talk more about this on the next show. But again, you're saying right now, as you try to sober up with your Menudo,
and coffee,
Mexico's greatest champion, Canelo Saúl Alvarez, out of Guadalajara, Mexico, is Mexico's greatest
Guadalajara.
champion.
Canelo, sí, es el mejor, sin duda.
You're not just in the moment. You're not just in the moment. You're not going to regret saying this later.
They've asked me this many times, and I've always waited. I've never gave an answer. And I don't think I'm in the minority here. I know a lot of people feel kind of the same way. Listo, our boy Listo Gaitan and Sweat Boxing.
Shout out to Listo.
They all feel the same way as well. No, es el tiempo de Canelo, es el mejor de la historia del boxeo mexicano, sin duda. Sí. Ayer lo logró. Ayer demostró sus capacidades. Ya es undisputed. I don't know how to say that in Spanish. Indisputable.
Yeah.
So,
sí.
Sin duda, es el mejor mexicano boxeador. Todos tenemos nuestras opiniones. Muchos van a decir que Chávez, respect, el gran campeón.
Oye, y una cosa, Hopper, perdona que te interrumpa, quería decirte, es que a veces por esa rivalidad que hay entre puertorriqueños y mexicanos, se limita lo que es ver, ¿verdad? Más allá de lo que es el talento y lo que ha podido lograr. Y déjame decirte que en todos los foros de comunicación y de influencers que hay, la mayoría de los boricuas, viva México. Y eso a veces es duro porque uno dice, lo mío, ¿dónde está? Está creciendo, no lo hay, pero no es que es la envidia, no es que es nada. Mucha gente está disfrutando que México está en la cima con un rey indisputado.
Indisputable. You got all that, Gringo?
Yeah, man. All right. So G-Funk Boxing says he has Sanchez, Alvarez, Chavez, and more. And he says and more in his opinion. So and hey, G-Funk has got a great boxing, man. He's you know, he knows his stuff for sure. And you know, this is maybe something that we can do a show with him one day and have a good debate on it. Who knows, man? Who knows?
Hey, but it's always what's next.
Yeah,
it's always what's next. And what's next right now? Shout out to Dickie Two Guns. He said Cabrones. All right, so with that being said, you guys.
Viva Mexico!
Go Cowboys! Go Luca! Luca with the
have
game
a great weekend
last night.
Óyeme. How about them Cowboys? How about them Cowboys?
It's gonna be a hell of a weekend.